put me onto.
Yeah. Well, I've got 52 years each. So, hell, what you mentioned driving to and from
Yep.
with somebody, and I just can't imagine Tom and his son, who's now coaching, driving to and from it. It's got to be the most rewarding thing of all, coaching now, to have stumbled along for the first 10 years and then to get where you are with people you know that know, and to take your coaching even to another level. It's just amazing. Um, I'm really impressed with how you're still both going at it, and I I think that it's sort of automatic for you guys. You just know the right stuff, right amount, right time, and the right way of what to do, and yet there's only two of you coaching your two teams, and you want to make the game better for more kids.
Right.
So, I've actually come to the conclusion with similar experiences as both of you that coaches today, um, the model at the beginning of this presentation that you talked about in terms of planning a practice, and the first portion that you began with was a cross ice scrimmage. And to me, if all they did was scrimmage variations, they'll get better.
Yep.
Period. And I think if they did just that, not do drills that they can't run so they work and accomplish the right thing, they'd be better off. So I guess my advice to coaches is what I learned when I first year of coaching hockey. I, I was over coaching, and the coach just that won the cities the year before said he just had games. He had about 6 practices, and they just played games, but he was positive. And L, to your word, he mentioned two things: effort and respect. That's all he demanded.
Yep.
So the effort and attitude, those factors, if they're having fun, you're going to have effort
Yep.
and you won't have bad attitude.
You're
They're
right.
having fun, they're enjoying it. So the art of making it more enjoyable by letting them be more involved is it's not hard. It's quite simple, but somehow we put the coach hat on and we're supposed to do something. And I think we can affect them more than we we really do. They affect us in the reality of things, and I uh, I think it's pretty impressive what you guys are still doing, and to hear that you're driving with your friend and you're going up to a tournament. I just can't imagine the experience that those kids are going through, and I'm sure you sense uh, the respect from them. Their eyes are a little wider open. They're attentive because everything you guys say, they appreciate. And it's interesting. Before I uh, did a little bit of stuff with Kyle Wanvig, an ex-NHLer's U13 practice, I got to watch a minor hockey practice. And one of the coaches on the ice, he had the half ice, he had his hockey equipment on, and honest to God, there was he did more talking and they did more standing than they did moving.
Yep.
And they had 8 kids waiting in line to join this cross ice game that never happened. And so your cross ice game, hell, we invented years ago with this association that we work with. Uh, and you might think about this, just a warm up where you're in the middle and the players are lined up on each side of you, and they're going to cross ice scrimmage, but you dump a puck in and it's 1-on-1 and pair the kids up.
Yep.
dump another, dump another, dump another. Make sure they know which way they're going. Keep their heads up. Don't shoot 2 pucks at one goalie. Eye contact with the goalie to shoot. And if you score, you change. Just one-on-one. They're skating, they're turning, they're protecting. That's it. And then go to the numbers. You don't even have to teach. They'll figure it out. So it's, I just wanted so badly. I was on the bench watching, waiting for Kyle to arrive. And it, it didn't bother me as much as it would have 10 years ago. But it is the way of life. It is the way things are in minor hockey world. So I'm just not sure how USA Canada, USA Hockey, and Hockey Canada can affect that. And I think this idea of just letting them play games and not trying to teach when you can't, because it takes an awful lot of time and expertise to teach. So I just want to share that with you guys and congratulate you for, what you're doing and where you're going. It's just amazing.
Well, it's interesting. I always thought that our teams played too many games and didn't practice enough. But to your point, and I had a parent also tell me this when I suggested he stay for his last year of his son play the last year of Bantams or come up to the high school team. And the parent said, "You haven't seen what lousy practices the Bantam team runs." He says, "I want my son with your team."
That's very true. Because all the research done Finland and Canada was a drills practice. You move between the between 7 and 11 minutes.
Yeah.
So if you're playing a game and you got 3 lines, you're getting 20 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, it's loss of control on the part of the coaches, and this is just common sense, right? So I've come to the conclusion, and I love your story, Wally, about the young guy that we had on, but his father, got hit in the head with a puck at practice.
Gary Bracco, yeah.
He says, "That's enough practicing. Let's just go play a lot of games."
Yeah.
And, I think there's a lot to it. So, we would be hard pressed to play a 65 game schedule here. The parents would rebel. So we got to play the games in practice. And I've changed my attitude towards this a whole lot. So the other thing I also like is, in the locker room, these kids, they scream and yell at each other and it drives me nuts. But then I finally just kind of sit there and I watch them interact with each other. And, they'll come in the locker room and, the same kids will be sitting in the same general area. They sit close to their friends and then they interact. And it's, for 11 and 12-year-olds, it's actually quite fascinating to watch how they interact with each other. The volume's a little loud. We have to bring it down occasionally. But, the locker room, we all know the locker room is an important part of this game. The experience of being a hockey player. And I know from my high school years, because we always did a video every year, highlight video for the team. And then the seniors got interviewed, each individual to say thank you or whatever they want to say. They always said, "I will miss the locker room, the friendships and the good times we had in the locker room." And I've got, well, you can't see it, you can't see me anyways, probably. But I've got, 9 stitches under my left eye that came as a result of in the locker room, but that was during beer league. And a can of beer a full can of beer came across and I didn't see it coming and hit me here. So, but I went senior hockey just because we could drink beer in the locker room after the game.
Well, hell, I play this plus 55 hockey,
Yeah.
and if I don't get there an hour before, it's hard to get a seat. Guys are there just BSing, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just, guys are retired, so they get there so early. I usually get there about 45 minutes before, between 45 and 30
Yep.
minutes before, and I got to wiggle myself into the corners and stuff like that.
Well, I wish I could still play, but I can't. And it's, I'm on, I do this almost 7 days a week in the winter. So it's all good.
Yeah,
All
well,
right,
this hockey's during the day, so
yeah, no, that's nice.
pretty good. But
I think I better go to do some work here so I can make some money. This was super fun. Wally, thanks for keeping this thing alive. It's really good. We got to figure out the system though, right?